Pandemonium Reigns.
Hello, family and friends, and welcome to Pandemonium Reigns, where Pandemonium reigns, according to LSU.
Yeah, right. They just looking for a reason to get on that field.
My goodness, let's jump right into this. Game of the day on Saturday was the Brian Kelly-led LSU Tigers, and all I can think about is everybody going back to week one and their loss to Florida State, and week 4 or 5-ish, whatever it was, their loss to Tennessee, and these images of him on the sideline, people making fun. They're like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten into? He's turned that upside down, and he's done it real quick.
He's done it quickly, man. The way they ended that game with the run from Daniels with just such a big play in overtime, and then going for two for the division. Not an NFL game that's meaningless with the analytics telling you to go for it, or the same thing in college football where you've already got a couple losses and it's like, do I do this or not? With the division on the line, you go for two. You throw from your veteran quarterback, Jaden Daniels, to your freshman, all-world tight end, Mason Taylor, and you beat Alabama. That's always big. That game means almost as much to them as it does to Tennessee fans against Alabama, or very close one way or the other, and you did the thing, man. Everybody was saying, what have they done hiring him? And, I mean, heck, if you watch the postgame, you saw his emotion there at the end. It means a lot to him as well.
For sure. Watching videos post-game, seems like the players they love Coach Kelly. And,
yeah, it does.
Which sucks because I can't stand this guy as a person. But
same.
Hey, two things about this very quickly. This is the first time since 2019 that Alabama has 2 losses before the Iron Bowl.
Wow.
This is the first time since 2006 that Alabama has lost to LSU and Tennessee in the same season.
And I'll give you one more that I saw. This is the first time since 2013 that Alabama and Clemson lost on the same day.
Whoa.
How about that, man? How crazy.
Wow. What is happening to the world? I don't absolutely hate the fall of Alabama. I don't just hate it.
Yeah, right.
But it does stink that Georgia's might be their replacement. So Daniels, heck of a day, dude. 22 for 32, 182 yards, 2 scores, 85.4 QBR. He was also their leading rusher, which he has been all year. 18 carries, 95 yards, and obviously that score coming there in overtime. Booty, however you say his name, finally, I mean, just catching what feels like more than one pass in a game for LSU. 7 catches, 51 yards. I think what sticks out to me, though, is actually the other side, and that's the amount of times that Bryce Young threw the ball. 25 for 51. They are going to ride or die with him, which is crazy because you've got Jahmyr Gibbs and Jace McClellan in your backfield.
Yeah, and if you watched, heck, if you look at their rushing numbers, you got Roy Dale Williams, the third stringer for most of the year, who gets 3 more carries than Jace McClellan, gets both of their rushing touchdowns on the day. I just don't get that when and I get that Jahmyr Gibbs got 15 rush attempts, and I see that he got 8 receptions. I mean, he got his touches, but it's wild that someone else, not McClellan, not Gibbs, is getting your scores and is really your second leading rusher in terms of attempts. That's just wild. Mm-hmm. Quick side note, I just noticed that Jaden Daniels leads the LSU Tigers in rushing by like 260 yards. He's got 260 more yards than the next running back. That's wild. I also expected, just briefly glancing, that he was their leading receiver somehow too, but he's not. Just a great performance, gutsy from him. I didn't think he would be at this level in the SEC, playing against Pac-12 defenses, kind of regressing a little bit as his career went on. A very tumultuous situation there at Arizona State with Herm Edwards. Not something you'd want a player to be involved in, but he's been really, really dang good this year.
Yeah, props to him. And he's like, he keeps getting better. So
agreed.
Props to him. Hey, you mentioned Clemson. I just have one thing that I really want to say about Clemson, and it's time to sit DJ.
It's time to commit to Klubnik or whoever number 3 is. It's time. I think DJ is going to be a transfer portal entry. You can almost feel that coming because why stay? If it's going this way, I actually think that he could experience one of those resurrections, revivals of his career if he gets somewhere that's really, really strong at coaching quarterbacks. But man, that pick six that he threw, that 96-yard pick six that he threw, boy, you could feel that coming a mile away. He just locked on that receiver. Goodness gracious!
What he does, he's been
it's
doing.
What he does.
I mean, it's what he's been. It's what he's been doing since he's been a starter. He had a really great game in 2019, I believe, where he filled in for Trevor against Notre Dame. Lit it
Might have
up.
been 2020, but it was definitely a couple years ago.
Well, it was Trevor's last year at Clemson, whatever year that was. And I thought that was 2019.
You might be right. You might be right on that.
But anyway, he's just been atrocious since then. Had I told you that Drew Pine for Notre Dame was going to be 9 for 17, 85 yards and a score, I can tell you what you would have said. You would have said that Notre Dame's about to get their pants beat off of them.
But they're about to score 3 points, if that. And listen, they did score. They scored 14 non-offensive points, so that checks out. But when you consider that they had 2 dudes over 100 rushing against this Clemson defense, what's going on, man? What is up?
I don't know. Moving on, I had really high hopes for Kansas State, and Texas said, "Hold my beer."
Yep.
Texas 34, Kansas State 27. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think they are better with this backup quarterback they got in Will Howard because it looks like Martinez took all the snaps. He was 24 for 36, 329 yards. That's great. 2 scores, but a pick with a 58.6 QBR. Good for Texas. Good for them.
Sure, yeah.
Getting a top 15 win there. Would still like to see those guys rise, but I really thought that we were going to see Kansas State in that Big 12 championship game, and now I don't know.
TCU and whoever, right?
I mean,
TCU and whoever.
I had Oklahoma State winning that conference, and they just got slapped by Kansas, 37-16, and I just don't know what to. Kansas now at this point in the season is kind of like the crazy ex-girlfriend that won't go away.
Yeah, they are. They're like, we're kind of out of the picture now. You've kind of forgotten about us. We're not going to be ranked every week now, but we ain't going away.
Yeah, right. They're like, I'm done with you. I'm done with us. I'm over it. Next thing you know, I'm back. I'm here to get my stuff. Right?
Didn't get all my things last time.
Didn't get all my things. That loss for Oklahoma State probably has to do with Spencer Sanders being out. This Rangel kid, Garrett Rangel, stepped in, true freshman for Oklahoma State. 27 for 40, not bad. 304 yards, not bad. 2 scores, not bad. 3 picks, bad. So, yeah. Moving on, Michigan State, Illinois. Michigan State is how do I want to word this? What is this example that is coming to my mind? It's kind of like you're dating the girl, right? She's gorgeous, she's pretty, and all of a sudden the ugly ex-boyfriend of hers comes back into the picture, and his name is Spartan, right?
Yeah.
I mean, where did that come from?
Dude, I don't know. What on earth? Forgive me if I'm wrong. No, absolutely. I was thinking this was a home game for Illinois, and just their worst performance since week 1, losing to Indiana. And it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, they threw the ball almost 300 yards. They ran for 150 with Brown getting his usual 136. What in the world, dude? That is just so uncharacteristic for what Michigan State's been, which is not their typical tough self. Is this year is how I would describe it. Not their typical resilient, tough self. I don't even know, dude. Good for Mel Tucker, I guess. Not a big fan of what they have going on right now, but I guess it's good that they're not just dead in the water.
I'll just say that Michigan State fans just never know if Tuck's coming or not.
There you go.
Is he coming or is he not?
There you go.
Is he coming? Is he not coming? Hey, here's a question I want to ask you. The Number 1 in the Big Ten West, Illinois, just lost to the number 5 team in the East. Is it time to get rid of divisions?
Yeah, I think it is. And no, I don't want the extra. If Tennessee's not to make this an orange cast, but if Tennessee's not going to win this seed, then I don't want to go to Atlanta. But kind of would be nice to at least be in the SEC championship game when you're, I think, clearly the second best team in the SEC right now. So the big 12 does it. I think the Pac might be doing it. No, I don't think they do.
I think they're going to it. I think they're headed for that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think it's time, man. It would help in a 14 playoff. It would be useless if you expand the playoff, but it would be great in a 14 playoff where it's already a playoff game. If you lose that game, you're out in a 14 playoff. But again, you expand it. You have all these unnecessary games. You're not going to see it. I mean, you're not going to see conference championships go away. There's too much money, right?
Right.
So they're going to be playing unnecessary games for no apparent reason. I mean, so yeah, it's time to go away with divisions, keep the playoff at 4, but we're not going there. That's all I'll say about that.
The only thing that I'll say is that if you can find a way to hold on to our traditional rivalries, go ahead. Go ahead, do away with it. I mean, get the best 2 teams in your conference championship game. I'm fine with it. Tennessee is 8-1. So is Liberty.
Golly, man. Hugh Freeze. I bet he regrets signing that extension, although it wouldn't keep him there ultimately. But boy, howdy.
That's just setting him up for more money when he does take the Auburn job.
Yeah, and it's going to set Liberty up to collect some buyout money.
Yeah,
and
right.
I don't know who they'll look at, but I mean, goodness gracious, 8-1 with, I believe, a new quarterback from last year. Not even the same guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Wasn't it Caden Salter in the beginning of the season?
Earlier in the year it was. I don't think it's been all the way. So I don't know what's up there, but yeah, man, 8-1. They didn't even score a point in the second half at Arkansas, and they beat Arkansas. They've already beat BYU, clapped BYU earlier this season. I mean, again, that's remarkable. Dude can coach. He is scary good coaching. I just have to wonder where Ole Miss would be if he had kept his nose clean there. They'd probably be in a similar spot as where they're at right now, but it might even be more sustainable and better, because there is still, for us at least, the fear of Lane Kiffin bolting, even for something like Auburn in the shape they're in. There's still that fear. Whereas, Hugh Freeze was doing it with Chad Kelly and, I mean, just absolutely and also signing some big name guys in some inappropriate ways, but just, man, he can coach some ball.
Yeah. I mean, him on the Plains would be interesting. Would be really interesting. I would be all for seeing that. Hey, 2 things. Virginia Tech is bad, and and Georgia Tech is about to be bowl eligible possibly this weekend.
Oh my gosh. See, that crept up on me. That crept up on me big time. How funny would it be if Georgia Tech is bowl eligible and Texas A&M isn't? How funny would that be?
I can add to that humor.
Okay.
How funny would it be for Georgia Tech to be bowl eligible and for Texas A&M to not be, and for Georgia Tech to gain their bowl eligibility after beating Miami? Because Georgia Tech is currentently a 1.5 favorite against Miami.
They've had some low moments this year, losing to MTSU, having Duke literally break the U, not just figuratively, not just celebrate a touchdown, but break the U over his knee. But you're an underdog to freaking Georgia Tech, who fired their coach several weeks ago. They're still recuperating from having a triple option for many years, and you're an underdog to that team with all the talent that should be at Miami.
Speaking of Miami, it happened again. Did you see that Jared Verse broke the U over his knee?
I missed it. I did miss that. No. Oh, gosh, dude.
Miami okay. So not only did Miami just lose a rivalry game
by 100,000 points,
they lost a rivalry game at home, 45-3. Now, the one thing I will say, hey, good for you, Miami, is it actually looked like there were some fans there. But as you look closer, there's a lot of garnet and gold in that stadium.
Man. I don't doubt it. You got to like what's going on at FSU and absolutely loathe what's going on at Miami if you're fans of those teams.
Can you look, if you have this pulled up, can you look at Miami's quarterback stats and tell me if you have a clue as to what's happening? I can see your face. What's happening? Who's the quarterback there? Who is it?
Well, I'll tell you this: Tyler Van Dyke was supposed to be an NFL draft pick. Man, he was supposed to be this guy, sophomore. I guess he's a redshirt sophomore if they're talking about his draft prospect, or maybe he's just getting that early talk going into the season. But dude, who started this game? Did Van Dyke start it?
I don't know, but I mean, if it is Van Dyke, he better start eating bananas with the pill on them and put mayonnaise in his coffee if he wants to be better.
Yeah, dude, that is atrocious.
Whereas if you look at the other side, if you flip over, Jordan Travis was 10 for 12, 202 yards, 3 scores and a pick. And even Tate Rodemaker got some garbage time, 3 for 4. But it was the Florida State rushing attack. Benson, 15 for 128. Toafili, 14 for 52. I mean, they have a star-studded backfield there in Tallahassee, and just glancing at the rest of their schedule, because they're bowl eligible as of now. They're going to have a tough one against Syracuse, traveling to Syracuse. But I mean, Syracuse just with the bed
reeling. They are reeling right now.
Yeah. Syracuse just wet the bed against Notre Dame, but still don't know what to make about either one of those teams.
That's and they lost to Pitt this week.
Yeah. But Florida State, that's a game that they can win, which could put them at 7-3. They're probably going to beat Louisiana at home, which could make them 8-3. Will they beat Florida? I don't know.
I would say yes right now if it's me, but there's a lot of hate built into that. There's a lot of knowing that Florida beat a sickness-riddled, flu-riddled Texas A&M team. They kind of beat them down in the second half, I understand, but they gave up a lot of points there in the first half to a team that was down a lot of dudes. They were not down Devin Achane, who is that dude.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to make of Florida. I don't love anything about them, honestly, if I'm just looking at it completely as unbiased as I can. But, man, I like Florida State in that game if I'm looking at it today.
Well, there's a spread out for it. You see it? It's on there.
Ooh, I missed that. Early action. And Vegas likes me. Which means bet Florida.
Florida State, 7-point favorites at home. Hey, go get it done. Win out. I'm here for it, man.
Do it.
I'm not even sure. A lot of people had Florida State getting bowl eligibility going into this.
Agreed.
Props to Mike Norvell. Did you see any of the Auburn-Mississippi State game?
I saw the best part of the Auburn-Mississippi State game, which was the end of it. I did not see any of the first 3.5 quarters, no. But I'm just going to say this. I've just got to lead with this. And it didn't even win the game in regulation. But when Mississippi State kicked that missile squib, weird, I don't even know if it was on purpose kick, and it hit the Auburn player. It knocked him back. It knocked him off his feet because it was so unexpected. Dude, I laughed. I cried for Auburn. I mean, I've always wanted teams to try that. I told you this, but I've always wanted teams to try that because I'm like, listen, you've got them all grouped there together. If it's an onside kick, just laser the thing into them. See what they do. I mean, it's not a very likely play that you're going to hit anyway. But dang, man, Cadillac had them boys fighting, dude.
Yeah. So legend has it that after the kicker for Mississippi State came to the sideline, after that, he said to Coach Mike Leach, "Oh, Coach, now I know why we call this play ball sack."
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, dude, that was awesome.
Hit him right in the gonads.
Yeah, it did.
Robbie Ashford, 7 for 22, 75 yards. Okay, so I can just tell you right now, here's the problem. Auburn is one-dimensional.
Yeah.
I mean, they're one-dimensional. Would love to see an offensive guy come in there. Would love to see Lane Kiffin change and take that job. Would be real excited to see a Hugh Freeze take it. Would love to see Dion take it.
Mm-hmm.
Would really love to see Mark Stoops take it even more.
Yeah.
But that remains to be seen. Still don't have names on like what Nebraska's doing.
Yeah.
Do they know that they're in a coaching search? Do they?
I don't know. Are they tracking planes? I mean, are they doing this right, dude? there was supposedly, I saw a playing tracker tweet a few weeks ago about Kiffin supposedly, I don't know, man, but I don't know if they know that they fired their coach or not. I really don't know.
Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I'm gonna throw something at you. Oklahoma at West Virginia this week. Oklahoma, they will host Oklahoma State after that. They'll travel to Lubbock to play Texas Tech to end their season. Chances they go 0-3 right there and get and don't reach bowl eligibility.
Oh boy, it's at West Virginia. They are a favorite there. That's just the one I look at first. West Virginia was weird like that, man. They've only got 3 wins. They're playing for bowl eligibility. Neil Brown's probably not going to make it there, so it's already a weird time in West Virginia. But this is what they do, man. They sneak up on you in these moments. Did you ask me chances they go 0-3 in that stretch?
Yes.
There is a definitive chance that they go 0-3 in that chance. I mean, like a 25+% chance that they go 0-3 in that. And it's only that low because I don't trust West Virginia saying all that, but I do trust Oklahoma State to win that game for some reason if they get Spencer Sanders and get things back on track. And then Texas Tech is just you don't want none, man. They're scrappy.
Yeah,
I mean they're scrappy, and if Oklahoma has one of those just non-showing games again, they will lose it. They will lose that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And Oklahoma State just lost again on Saturday, putting them at 5-4. So yeah, good luck to those guys. Not.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that Adam Sandler wrote a song regarding the Ohio State win over Northwestern? Did you hear about
Sing
this?
it to me real quick.
I can. Go ahead. It goes like this: Sloppy Joe, sloppy Joe. That was sloppy. They were bad.
Disgusting, dude.
Against Northwestern in that hostile environment in Chicago. My goodness, that was bad. That's all I want to say about that. I want to point out C.J. Stroud's real quick because he's in that Heisman contention. 10 for 26, 76 yards, no scores, no picks, 59.3 QBR. If we're going to drop Hendon, we better be dropping CJ. That's all
absolutely better.
I'm saying.
Look at the level of competition.
We talked about Florida A&M for a second. So here's my question regarding this. How much longer is Jimbo there?
I'll tell you this. This just popped in my head. And because we talk about old money, we talk about hitmen taking out Jimbo Fisher being cheaper than the buyout, talk about this crazy stuff. I make the ultimate pimp move if I'm Texas A&M. If I have say there, if I'm that guy that's got the say, I buy out Jimbo Fisher like yesterday because this team blows and they shouldn't. I go get Hugh Freeze at Texas A&M.
Holy crap.
That's what I do. Wow. I jump everybody. I know everybody's got to be eyeing him. Yeah. He's probably eyeing them too, even though I think he's, just tearing it up at Liberty. But I just go ahead and, because seriously, if you don't get Lane Kiffin or Hugh Freeze in this coaching search, you're taking a risk on Deion Sanders if you're one of these teams, prime time. What else are you going to do, man? I mean, Chris Kleiman there at Kansas State, he's cooled off a little bit. Lance Leipold's probably cooled off just a touch, even though he shouldn't cool off because it's Kansas. Go get yourself Hugh Freeze, man. If you want to make a gangster move, go get Hugh Freeze or Lane Kiffin. But Hugh Freeze is the alpha dog in this carousel. Like, he is the one that you need to get. He's the fast track to fixing whatever you got going on, especially if you're Auburn or Texas A&M and your quarterback play is boo-boo.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a handful of names out there currently, and I'm going to throw a name out there, and it's probably going to have a lot of people say, no, are you kidding? Why would you do that? And I will just say that this team is one quarterback injury away from being really, really, really good. And that's Dave Doran at NC State.
Yeah. I
like your idea better. I think Hugh Freeze is more proven. He's done it in multiple places. He can do it in the SEC West. He's kind of that older white guy. I mean, not racist or anything, but it's Texas. I mean, it's the reason Charlie Strong didn't work out. I'm just saying, a dude I really like, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Florida sitting at 5-4, A&M sitting at 3-6. Don't know how much longer Jimbo is going to last there. It feels like a ticking time bomb, though.
Absolutely,
It's gone from
does.
being quarterback play to I think he's losing the locker room.
Absolutely, I think so. Especially with the situation with the marijuana making the appearance in the locker room and having to suspend players for that in the middle of the season is just what in the world is that?
Did you say marijuana?
I did. I mean, who does that? I've never heard of that in my time on this earth. Who does that?
Aggies. They're
Yeah,
like it's for
Aggies.
agriculture.
Yeah, agricultural purposes only. Education.
This is official agricultural purposes.
Yeah.
Hey, moving on, keeping in the SEC. Chris Rodriguez is that dude, 29 carries, 112 yards, no scores. Will Levis, 13 for 19, 170, 3 scores in their 21-17 win over Mizzou, which there were, I don't know if you saw this game, several times where Kentucky was like, we don't want it.
Yeah.
Which has been Missouri's thing kind of all year. Like
Yeah.
them handing away victories. But I just don't know, for one, what to think about Kentucky at this point. Who are they? I had okay, so Tennessee, Georgia at the top of the East, and obviously Georgia on Saturdays separated themselves a little bit there. But I mean, I had Georgia and Tennessee and maybe like that elite status or that tier
Yeah.
1, I should say, and I had Kentucky tier 2.
Yeah.
But according to this, they're tier 3.
Yeah, they are, and I think even after Saturday, it might be more appropriate to say tier 1 Georgia, tier 2 Tennessee, by themselves.
Yes.
Tier 3
everybody
is
else
a cluster. Yeah, cluster.
Yeah.
Everybody else. How much of this game did you watch?
I mean, going back and forth, pretty good amount. I have this really cool feature on my Apple TV where I can pull up 4 games at once, and this was one of the 4. So, I mean, pretty good amount.
Did Missouri bring that pressure that they brought against Georgia, or was it kind of standard defense? What were they doing?
They were not. It was not a nano blitz situation for them.
So Levis gets sacked 6 more times. They got tackled for loss 11 times. Dude, Will Levis is going to take 60 sacks this year. Like he's going to take 60 sacks. I mean, he got hammered against Tennessee. I don't know what level of hits he took here. He had negative 36 rushing yards when you count those sacks in. He actually had 1 rushing attempt out of his 7 because he had 6 sacks for 3 yards. Like I said, negative 36 rushing. I mean, honestly, how does your offensive line drop off that much? We know that Alabama hired their offensive line coach, Eric Wolford. We know that you lost some guys because, at Kentucky, it's going to be more of a 3 and 4 year, it's going to be more of a run type thing. It's not going to be a reload, replay situation. But how do you drop off that hard? I mean,
I don't know.
and I'm not even going to go into the Levis NFL thing again, but with a guy that should be, because of his body type and should be his intangibles, that should be a pro prospect. I mean, gosh, dude, he's going to get sacked 100 times this year if he's not careful.
Cool.
Doesn't bother me, but I'm just saying another factor for me when I'm considering Will Levis.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be an interesting follow on Sundays. I'm really curious to see how he does in the pros. This game, that Missouri-Kentucky game, was one that I had pulled up along with the Texas Tech TCU game, and TCU just keeps winning. They just keep doing it. Duggan didn't have the greatest of days, sitting at a 49.7 QBR, but they keep making their case by winning for the playoffs. Even though it was up, it still just kind of felt boring. There's just something boring about the games that go on out west. But
yeah,
good for TCU. I just need them to find a loss somewhere.
You need them to find a loss for sure. Their wins are becoming, well, shoot. Heck, I'm not even going to say becoming. Really, since they drubbed Oklahoma, their wins have been like should be losses. You've trailed for some or most of the game. You're coming back and winning. That's good. I'm just saying this. I hope it impacts their playoff chances, even if they win the Big 12, which they should.
Yeah.
Because they're just not as convincing as other teams like the one in orange that we love.
Speaking of teams in orange, they are traveling to Austin on Saturday, and they are
a touchdown dog.
Yeah, touchdown dog. So
Seems tall to me, but we'll see.
that will be interesting. I wonder what Vegas is thinking there. Should be a wild crowd there.
Yeah.
In Austin. Let's see what else took place on Saturday. What am I missing here? Anything else that we would like? Oh, here's one that I wanted to talk about. Pac-12 after dark.
Ugh.
I saw the first half of this, and I'm gonna be willing to bet most people just this side of the Mississippi's didn't see any of it, just because it's
Yeah.
so late, and by the time all the East Coast games are over, people are like, I'm done with football. Turn it off.
Yeah.
Justin Wilcox is a really good football coach.
Really, really good football coach at a tough place to win right now.
At a tough place to win with that recruiting pool being there. But I'm also going to say this. After seeing what I saw and getting a 6-point win over the Cal Bears.
At home?
Yeah. I'm not convinced you're a top 10 team.
I don't think you are. I think just like we talked about with the tiers in the SEC, it's like Oregon, and then I think you skip a couple tiers, maybe, because I don't trust exactly Oregon's schedule and their opponents, but I think you skip a couple tiers either way before you maybe get to Utah, because they did beat USC.
Yeah.
And then you trickle in USC. UCLA gave up 36 points to Arizona State. Yeah. They did score 50, and DTR is fun as heck to watch when we love this game the way we do. But I think there's a couple tiers missing if you just look at the order in the Pac-12, and there's a big gap, kind of like the SEC East right now.
Yeah. That UCLA USC game, which Vegas currently has USC favored, that I can see that going two ways. I can either see that being, 175 total points scored, or I can see UCLA drubbing them through the mud.
Me too, because I think they're going to get theirs all day long.
Yeah, agreed. So that's going to be interesting to watch. There was another SEC game that I wanted to point out. We had said that let's say this: Georgia tier 1, Tennessee tier 2, everybody else tier 3, including right there at the bottom of tier 3, the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Listen, I've gone on many a rant. I intend on having more rants to come when it comes to Shane, Goofy, freaking sunglasses Beamer. Look at my shoes. You managed 7 points in the second half against Vanderbilt. 7 second half points against Vanderbilt when you led 31-14 at half. I'm not, like I talked about the issues I have with Florida. That's who they play this week. I'll be fascinated when I'm not looking at Tennessee, when I've processed the Tennessee-Missouri game. I'll be fascinated to watch what happens at 4:00 down in Gainesville, because that feels like it could go either way with the issues that Florida's had.
Yeah.
But, dude, that would be another bad loss for Billy Napier and co, because this South Carolina team is just all over the place. They're a roller coaster. They're not good. They're not good. Yeah. But, yeah, dude, what a weird game. 7 second half points against Vandy.
Yeah, South Carolina fans want Scott Satterfield. Not Scott Satterfield. Is it Scott Satterfield?
Marcus Satterfield.
Marcus Satterfield. I was like, why do I have this wrong? They want him out of there. And one of their biggest complaints has been they're not getting Jaheim Bell the touches. Well, he had 16 carries on Saturday, good for 56 yards, 3.5 yards per carry. And he also had 3 catches for 27 yards.
Which is his primary job duty.
Yeah, which is so he touched the ball 19 times. So what's your excuse now?
Yeah, and I would say your excuse is that your quarterbacks suck.
Yeah.
Notice I said quarterbacks because they all suck. I mean, I just don't get it. And look, maybe it is Marcus Satterfield. I'm not a believer in Rattler. Everybody knows that listen to us, that continues to listen to us. But I don't like Luke Doty. I think that Luke Doty could do just as well as Spencer Rattler, if not better. DeMarcus Joyner, which I've been saying, like, why are they not using this dynamic dude, Joyner?
Yeah.
And they didn't use him enough last year until late. Dude, I just don't understand them. I don't like them. I think their schedule and their wins are garbage, and that's a fact, I think.
A&M win is garbage.
Garbage. You spotted a 17-point lead that you held on to for dear life against this garbage A&M team.
Yeah. I will say this before we move on from South Carolina. I got to see DeCarrion Joyner play in high school, and he is elite. I mean,
I think I said DeMarcus Joyner. My bad. DeCarrion Joyner. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't notice. The dude he's a baller. I don't
Phenomenal.
I don't know. He's one of those guys like why he might need to be your Q. I mean, shoot,
Yeah.
just do like what Kentucky did a couple of years ago with Bowden. I think it was
Lynn Bowden.
Lynn Bowden, and just let him do it.
Yeah.
And
he did last year. That's how they beat some of those teams.
Oh,
on the
that's
stretch.
right.
Your Auburn's, your Vanderbilts. I think those were close wins.
Yep.
I mean, you didn't beat Clemson, and I don't think you're going to this year as many issues as Clemson has. But that should be the direction you go, because you're not just going to drop Spencer Rattler back. You're not going to roll him out. You're not going to run him and win meaningful SEC games. Look, you're going to win 7-8 games because your schedule lined up for you to do that. You've got Kentucky without Levis. Things just happened in your favor. But it's absolutely meaningless. It doesn't matter what you're doing right now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. They're going to figure out something. The issue might be more than Marcus Satterfield. Just saying. Just saying. Could it be your head coach? Could it be?
Maybe. Just maybe.
It might be.
Yep.
Hey, one more highlight, and we're going to hop off here. We're about 3.5 minutes out from shutting her down. Bo Nix, Oregon and Colorado game, 20 for 24, 274 yards, 2 scores, QBR 88.9, continues to do good.
He continues to do his thing. Here's a stat I heard today, courtesy of a Georgia fan, and I don't think this even came against them. Bo Nix has been sacked 1 time this season.
Woo.
That's phenomenal.
Oregon game or the Georgia game?
I'm wondering. I really don't know, because Georgia only had 10 sacks coming into the Tennessee game. We won't talk about that. But he's got 22 touchdowns, 5 picks, 24-95 passing. He's probably doing his thing rushing. If I could find it, gosh, I can't find it. Forget it.
Bo Nix?
Yeah.
On the year?
Yeah.
I can.
Here we go. 457 rushing, 13 rushing touchdowns. That might be the Heisman candidate we're not talking about, even though probably had a Georgia game to forget with those picks.
Hey, that's some strong words right there, boy.
I think we just found our strong performer of the week.
Bo Nix. Hey, did you see who the quarterback was for Colorado?
Was it JT?
JT Shrouts, former Tennessee Vol, going 17 for 34, 247 yards, 1 score, 2 picks, QBR at 31. I hope he can get that figured out.
Colorado is bad, but yeah, I'm fine with him.
I liked him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, doesn't it feel like we just started this thing, but we're way more than halfway through the college football season? I'm telling you guys, like it comes faster than Christmas, and it's over faster than Christmas morning. I mean,
absolutely.
So you guys better
just flies.
Better hang on tight. With that said, hanging on tight, you better push those subscribe buttons. You better push those that like button on this video. Push all the buttons if you want to help us out. What causes us less pandemonium is you subscribing and liking and sharing, which we really, really appreciate. We are about an inch away from being over 1,000 downloads, my dude. Had I'd said, hey, at like, let's say August, September, October, November, at a 4-month mark for Pandemonium Reigns, do you think we'll have 1,000 downloads? What would you have said?
Heck to the no.
I'd be like, no way.
But now I'm saying, like, what? I was going to make my light strobe, and I can't figure it out because I'm dumb. There we go.
There it is. What? Look at our technology, y'all.
Oh,
Josh,
we're so crazy.
That late kick show ain't got nothing on us.
Love you, Josh.
High quality H2O right here. Hey, we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for letting us tickle those ears. God bless you wherever this podcast finds you. Make sure you're sharing and liking and all the stuff. We love you guys. God bless and go Balls.
Pandemonium Reigns.